What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
What the f happened?
What just happened? I'm Dan. That's Julia. And today we're talking season 2, episode 8 of Yellowjackets called It Chooses. And boy, does it choose. A lot to get into, Jules. We have one more episode left this season. The finale's next week. So get all your theories in the comments below. Got a lot to talk about this week. But before we get into it, reminding everybody, once we hit 2,000 subs, we're getting someone 3 months of Regal Unlimited so you can see movies for 3 months as many times as you want. It's a lot of fun. So all you got to do is hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy this video, give it a like. All right. It starts out.
Yeah. Very bad shape.
So, yeah, I mean, she took that vicious beating from Shauna. She's dealing with that. She's healing. And how about that little flash we see when the Queen of Hearts popped up real quick?
I know.
Really cool.
I know.
And they get into that later.
As soon as I saw that, I knew that was going to be like a big thing in this episode.
Yeah, they're like not holding back, giving us some answers every now and then. You know, there's always something pretty decent. Yeah,
they're
it's been
just
good.
lining them up and knocking them out. And I gotta say, these theories that people are giving us are so on point.
Yeah, somebody nailed another thing this episode. So yeah, we'll talk about it. But anyway, that's all happening. But then how about? So you and I have been going back and forth on Aquila with her mouse. Like, what is the point? Why are they doing like? It's not big enough to eat. She's protecting this. Why? Why does it matter? And
that thing is dead, Aquila.
Now I see why. It's been dead the whole time. And Ty's like, dude, what are you doing with this dead mouse? That was so crazy.
Yeah, and
oh my God.
I feel like I should have seen that coming.
Right? You got to expect that type of thing with Yellowjackets. Yeah. And I didn't either.
I didn't. I was really just hoping she found a friend, man.
I know. Yeah, but we see that. So possibly they're all having some type of visions. So then Shauna comes back into the room after talking to Jeff. She tells everyone about Adam's body. Obviously, she's like, all right, I got to leave and go deal with this. So she starts walking to her car. And then Misty and Nat are behind her whispering about the situation.
I don't understand. You measured the grave to the standard 6 feet?
Well, I didn't have a fucking tape measure. Yeah, he was in there really deep.
I should have done it myself.
But then Van sees that and goes to Ty and like, what are they whispering about?
You're lying to me. I want to know why.
She senses something's up. They don't give her an answer.
Yeah.
So she just goes and tosses Shauna's keys. No, you're not leaving without talking to me. Yeah.
I loved that move, honestly.
Yeah, it's a good move. Straight up asks, like, did you guys have something to do with this? So
yeah.
Van's not an idiot, but Lottie is like, yo, what are you guys doing talking about this out in public? Let's go somewhere else private to talk about this.
Right.
In the past, Nat says about Lottie.
Maybe Lottie dying wouldn't be the worst thing.
So Natalie's saying all this to Ben, right? And he just all of a sudden has a thought. And he's like, you know what? I need to look further into this. So it sets Ben off on a quest for this episode. So he goes towards Javi, who's sleeping, and he sees the drawings of the trees and everything. And one of them really catches his eye. So he wants to go find it. And that's like his objective for this episode. And that might be what you guys were right about. And then Mari and Ty hear dripping again. And then she has a straight up vision of the walls dripping blood. So like, what is that all about? You know, please let me know.
I mean, it's the same thing as like when we saw Lottie in the beehive. So I don't know. It kind of seems like they're like experiencing some kind of shared psychosis.
Yeah, for sure it does. That's definitely where my brain's going right now. Probably one of the more interesting bits of this episode, which I was surprised that I liked this so much, but the cops with Jeff and Callie, they show up to Shauna's house.
What's going on?
We got ourselves a search warrant.
Like Jeff couldn't do anything about it. He's like, okay, like his hands are tied at that moment. There's nothing he can do. Jay and Callie are like bickering at each other. And it seems like she gets the upper hand in this little standoff they're having. But Jay seems totally unconcerned by her at all. Like I don't think it's working, what she's trying to do.
No, it's not. And I see what she's trying to do, which I mean, not that I condone that kind of thing, but I could see it working for sure. But I think Jay might be right. Like if this makes it to some kind of prosecution of Shauna, I think that they're definitely going to be like, okay, mother, daughter, they're both a little crazy, you know?
Yeah, he doesn't seem worried about it. And, you know, she throws that line out there that you were preying on a child, like trying to say she was all innocent in this whole thing. And he just doesn't care. He clearly, at least, he believes, he knows that Shauna did it, or at least had something to do with it. So
Yeah.
and then we see Kevin talking to Jeff. Where's Shauna?
Shauna is at a spa with a few of her girlfriends.
Jeff didn't lie, at the spa with girlfriends. It wasn't a lie, but it was a fine answer for Jeff. It was fine.
I hated Jeff a lot less this episode.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he was growing on me a little bit. And then Jay comes into the room and says, I got some pictures to show you. And they're gruesome, and they're just, pictures of Adam's cut up body. And it was carved and it was precise, and they used a cheese grater to get rid of his tattoos. And, and they said
I didn't like that.
yeah. Yeah, it was gross. And the separation of limbs was near surgical. And it was almost impossible to even identify him. So then Jeff's like, well, see, it can't be Shauna. But then they're like, well, we know she has some survival skills. So this really leads us to believe that it is her, even more so. And then he's like, I'm done.
Yeah, you know what, guys? This is, we're done.
I'm not talking without a lawyer. And it's probably smart, honestly. It is probably smart.
Oh, it is. It definitely is. But did you notice that Kevin was like, well, when people ask for a lawyer, it's suspicious.
Right. Yeah.
But which I get, but from what I've seen watching a probably too much true crime, you should always ask for a lawyer. Regardless, you should always ask for a lawyer. Because cops are little sneaky bastards sometimes.
Right. So he's playing the safe card, and he always puts his foot in his mouth. So this is a really smart decision for him to do. So
finally.
And then the Yellowjackets are continuing their conversation in the private room, and outsourcing is brought up.
What do you mean outsourcing?
It's revealed that Ty hired Jessica Roberts to look into everyone.
Ty is the one who hired Jessica Roberts to look into all of us.
The private investigator that Misty kidnapped. And they say, well, yeah, what if she goes rogue? And Misty's like,
We don't have to worry about that.
Misty.
Like I always do. I took care of the situation.
Like I always do. You're welcome.
And then it transitions into the past, showing where Misty's at right now in her current state. But in the past, she was really looking out for Ben, making sure he's not still suicidal. So I thought that was really cool. Transition from one scene to that type of scene. Cool.
They had a lot of those in this episode. The one where it went from Van, current Van, to back then Van, and just the transition of it was so cool.
Yeah, I love when they do that. It's really smart. Ben's reading the map of symbols and heads out to find the tree that caught his eye from the drawing. So he's going to go check that out. In current time, when they're all talking about this whole Adam situation, the FBI's brought up oh yeah, they're in on it now too. Missy's like, the FBI was me. It was me and Walter interrogating Randy.
We were trying to find out who had kidnapped Natalie. Walter impersonated an FBI agent and interrogated Randy on his boat.
So then this conversation leads them to all put it together that it was indeed Jeff who blackmailed them in the first place.
But really, it makes a lot more sense if it was from Jeff.
Kind of crazy. They're all figuring stuff out very fast. You can't get anything by them at all. Once they smell bullshit very quickly. And Walter's back. Elijah Wood is back on the show. Thankfully, he gets an alert that Adam's body has been found. And then super interesting, he emails the police department to say that he has information on the case. So what's his angle here? What do you think?
So I think he's trying to misdirect them. If you listen to the song that's playing while he's doing that, it's a well-known song. I forget what it's called, but the lyrics say, "No one's gonna hurt you, not while I'm around."
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So I think
nice
he's doing this to misdirect them. Yeah, for sure.
I hope so. I really do. There's some people who think he may be connected to Adam, or he is connected to one of the Yellowjackets that was eaten, and he's trying to find out about this whole cannibalism stuff. So we'll see where his angle is. I hope his heart is in a good place.
Me too. And it could be that he's, trying to figure some stuff out and get them in trouble or whatever. But when he pulled out the purple jacket at the end, that makes me think even more that he's doing whatever he's doing to protect Misty, because obviously he's going to go to Lottie's,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great catch. Hell yeah. I have that written down. Purple jacket ? So yeah, that's definitely why. Yeah. Good call. Interesting scene here. Jeff has a dream that Shauna kills him. So what's that all about?
Yeah.
He's like getting scared of her now. Like the cops are working a little bit because they were like, oh, it's not too late to save yourself and your daughter. Like, do you think that's shifting a little bit?
I mean, for sure. I think that definitely is factors into it, you know, but I think seeing the pictures of Adam's body kind of put it into perspective for him that like, this was more than just like, oops, I stabbed him and then we buried his body. Like this was well planned out. Like if you don't think that your partner can do that and then you find out that they can, even after all the crazy shit she's done.
Yeah.
I feel like that would definitely make me feel very unsettled.
Maybe it's the first sign of him turning and it could go down that route. I don't know if it will at this point, but we'll see. You know, but he wakes up, he goes to talk to Callie, who's just boozing, and he doesn't care, even though she's apparently a teenager. Like, her age seems like it always fluctuates, but whatever. She asks if she's like her mom, like in the bad way. And he tries to defend her actions by saying, you know, she's been through a lot, lost her best friend. That's not all she lost. She lost a baby.
She lost somebody else out there, too. She had a baby out there. It was our baby.
Tells Callie for the first time about her brother who passed. So I don't know. You know, I don't think either of them are going to turn on Shauna necessarily. It's just this episode opened it up, that possibility of that happening, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I can't see them really doing that after all they've been through, but I guess it's possible if they think that, you know, the police really have a good case against Shauna and they're like, well, I don't want to go to jail. Sorry, Shauna.
Yeah, it could be going that way. Let me know in the comments if you guys think that he'll turn on her eventually. And then quickly in the past, we see that conversation between Misty and Lottie of Lottie saying, you know, if I do die, don't waste my body. You guys need to eat.
If I die, no, you're not gonna. Don't waste my body.
You know, obviously we know that doesn't happen, but we know that Lottie said to do that if that's the case. So I guess I would do the same thing if I was in that position.
I mean, at that point.
Yeah, right?
Like if I'm gonna be gone anyway, at least you guys will survive a little bit longer.
Exactly. In current time again, Shauna says she lied about the whole Jeff thing because she was worried that they would kill him. You know, she has every right to fear that.
Yeah.
Because she even says, hey, if it was one of your husbands, I would have probably killed him.
If one of your spouses or whatever had turned out to be the blackmailer, that I probably would have fucking killed them.
We know that, Shauna.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah, we all know that, Shauna. But then she even admits that she's been making everything worse. And I'm like, finally, like at least she understands that she's doing that because she has been. And, you know, with the whole gun situation, she was just going down a really dark path. So, but Lottie kind of steps in and says, hey, something guided you all here.
And it wasn't guilt and it wasn't some psychological need. It was something greater. And it has been guiding me as well.
So now we have to give it what it wants. We'll come back to it. That's coming. Okay. This scene blew my mind. And you guys were right about the whole Queen of Hearts thing. Van is holding the Queen of Hearts. She puts it into the deck of cards. It gets shuffled up. They all start pulling cards one by one, one by one. Nat pulls the Queen of Hearts. And Jules, that was supposed to be, okay, kill Nat, eat Nat. We found our next sacrifice. So wild. And people said that in the comments that I bet you they pull cards to see who gets eaten next, and that was 100% right. But it doesn't really go as planned. So Shauna put Jackie's necklace on her. She turns around, but she's like, nope, you got to face me if you're going to kill me.
You're going to have to look me in the eye.
Travis doesn't give her the chance. Travis tackles Shauna, and Nat gets away, and they all take off hunting her, essentially. And people said that in the comments, too, of the scene when they all went to get weapons and they were all running. Everybody was wondering what that scene was, and that's what it was, because Natalie was running away when she pulled the Queen of Hearts. So
which definitely doesn't surprise me. The switch from them being like relatively calm to we're gonna murder our friend was very like split second, and that was a little crazy to me. Like none of them were even hesitant.
Yeah, and you notice they did it when Ben wasn't there. Like, all right, he's not here. Let's do this real quick. You know, I thought that. I thought if he was there, he would have had something to say. She's just running for her life, and then again, they do some brilliant cutting where they go from past to current time, past to current time. Really cool how they do that. I just love their editing techniques. It's one of my favorite parts of the show, to be honest.
It is really good.
Yeah. And Sean is basically telling Lottie in current time, like, none of that's real. You're imagining all this. Maybe you think you're more important than you are, type of thing. But no, Lottie's like not having it.
It's been with us all along, and we've been denying it, and that is why we're all so fucked up. We give it what it always wants. One of us.
She's trying to do what they did in the past. So she has all these drinks where one of them is poisoned with a lethal dose of something they use to euthanize animals. That's her plan. For them all to drink, one of them will die. And they're like, if you're so sure, why don't you offer yourself? And she's like, that's not how it works. It has to be random. It chooses. She says the title of the episode, It Chooses.
I also really liked Misty's comment when she's like, yeah, that's what the Heaven's Gate cult did too.
Yeah.
Like, tell me Lottie's compound isn't a cult now. Tell me.
I know. Yeah, 100%. Maybe taking this cult thing a little too far. Yeah, I love that someone said that. And but she's like standing by it. She points out how fucked all of their lives are and says,
it helped us survive then. It will help us survive now if we give it what it wants.
It'll solve all of our bad situations. She thinks this is exactly what they need to do in order to turn their lives around. So I don't know if she's going to change her stance on that, Jules. I don't know if I'm ready to say a main character will die at the end of the season, but maybe it's possible.
I don't think it's going to be from the whole drink with the poison in it thing. It's too easy of a way out.
Then they flash back to the past, and Ben has found the tree from the drawing. And another thing you guys were right about, there is some sort of underground cave, tunnel, whatever you want to call it. There's an underground area where Javi was, which you were all right about again. He's kind of shocked to see what he found. There's bones down there. That's obviously how Javi survived. Just wild, man.
I can't say I didn't see it coming, but I don't know. That's not really how I expected it to like come about. Like, I didn't think Ben would be the one to like venture out and find it.
Yeah, me either. And I definitely didn't see it coming this early. That's what I mean by they're giving us so many answers. Like, there's so many mysteries to this show, but they do give you enough answers to keep you satisfied.
Keep you interested.
Yeah. So
now,
it's crazy.
Do you think that Ben is going to tell people about it, or do you think he's going to keep it to himself?
Great question. Yeah, because what happens later? Oh, that's a great question.
I think when he finds out about the whole "we're hunting one of us whenever they pick a queen" thing, when he finds out about that, I think he's going to decide not to tell anybody.
Yeah, I mean, clearly,
especially because now he's the only one who knows now.
Right. Yeah, true. Okay, we'll get to it. So Javi runs and finds Nat, who's running from everyone who's trying to kill her and eat her. It's crazy. That's all her friends 5 minutes ago. And he's like,
I know where you can go. There's a place the others don't know about it. I can take you there.
But they're traveling across the frozen lake. He falls in and dies. Rest in peace, Javi.
Stop.
I didn't see that coming.
I'm so mad at how dirty they did Javi. The way they just all watched him drown.
Yeah.
Broke my heart because he's like screaming like for Natalie, and I'm just like, someone do something. Like, this poor kid.
They're savage. And like, even Van.
The wilderness chose.
They all believe in that.
And then Misty was like, listen, like, if you save him, you're gonna die.
If you save him, the others will get you.
So like, it's him or you. Oof. That definitely makes sense as to like why Natalie still feels so guilty about like her relationship with Travis.
Oh man, so true. Yeah, because Travis is obviously going to be very upset. This a lose-lose for him. He was either going to lose the girl that he pretty much loves or his brother. So yeah, poor Travis, man. You can see why he was so messed up in the current time when he was. Man, I mean, they've all been through so much, but that's just tough, man. That's tough. And he's not going to eat his brother. I don't think so. Maybe
he might
though.
Have to. I mean,
yeah, maybe though.
Shauna ain't Jackie.
Right. Yeah. So there you have it. I mean, it was a pretty crazy episode, but they also left enough to happen in the finale for the finale to be just like spectacular. And I really can't wait to see what happens. To let you guys know, after Yellowjackets, we're going to try out Silo. So we're going to do that. And then a couple weeks after that, we're going to be covering The Crowded Room, both on Apple TV+. So if you were wondering what we were covering next, but hey, we still got one more episode left. Hopefully it delivers. Overall, I've been really satisfied this season, but I really want something. I want something epic for the finale.
I think they're gonna have to. I definitely think it's gonna end on some kind of like crazy cliffhanger. I feel like at this point, it has to be, right? Like, if they're gonna keep people like interested for next season, especially since so much happened right now. Like,
I don't see how it's not.
Gonna be.
I don't see how it's not a cliffhanger. I think it definitely will be. But hey, what do you guys think? Leave your theories below. What do you think's going to happen for the finale? Are you excited? Are you upset? What are you feeling right now? That'll do it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
And now we have to give it what it wants.